Masunto tane. Guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In case it's your first time here, consider subscribing. Oh, don't worry about that because that's a kahaya. So let's get into the video. My name is Maureen Shan. Today we are going to for a funeral, and come with me to a funeral in Africa. So we bought a few shopping because I lost my uncle and he has not been buried. So we are going to say sorry to the family of the late, and we are taking a few shopping with us. So our first step was at Daraja Market. Daraja is one of the biggest markets in Kisii, Kenya. And every Monday and Thursday, this market is filled to the brim. So after our shopping, we again went to get a few stuff from the store, and then we headed there. We didn't know the location because what to Nairobi, you understand. But I am from another funeral where I had lost a friend. So here I'm going to condole with the family because this is my grandmom who had lost a son. So we got lost on after asking for directions. We discovered that this was not the route, so we went back and we found the route. And here we were heading there. Everyone was excited, but the question was, how are they going to carry the body downwards when the time comes? But for now, let's focus to what brought us here. That was my uncle ahead, who was leading and showing us the way. We had carried a few stuff. When you go to a funeral in Africa, it is believed that you have to carry a little shopping. My uncle has left 4 kids. One is not even a year old, but we hope by the grace of God they will come to be big people. So after that, we headed to the family, whereby we had to join the choir for hymns and such kind of things. That was mom heading ahead of us, and everyone was coming from there, and people were still going and everything. So let me give you a few tips about the African funerals. Number one, in our community, after you have lost your husband, you shave your hair after the burial is done. But right now people are not observing that. Example, if they don't have your body, they will bury a banana to represent your body. Example, you are on a flight and everything was burned down, so they don't have the body, they will have to bury a banana. And the celebration will be as usual. People usually come before the funeral and they condole with you. The church can come and any other person who feels like coming. People get to scream a lot, and sometimes it gets so emotional. What else do I have to tell you about the African tradition? Another thing I can tell you about African tradition is that if you've lost a loved one, as well, people get to contribute before the burial so that they can save on the expenses. There is one thing I love about the whole thing. When you've lost your loved one, the villagers will get to bring firewood for cooking, and they will bring maize and also a few cash for contributions. If your husband has not paid your pride price, he'll have to pay before he is buried. They will have to bring ugali so that they can make you eat it before you're buried as well. It is like a crazy thing, but I'm not concentrating there, so we are still on our way there. I already told you that in Africa, funerals are a community thing. They are not an individual or family thing. So when someone dies, everyone comes on board and they help you with the work. Some will go to the river and get water, some will help cut firewood, some will come and sing and condole, some will help with the cooking, especially when you are nearing the funeral death. Eating is gonna happen and people are going to chill until the morning to keep you company. Even after the burial, some people will remain just to console you and do such kind of things. Another interesting fact about African funerals is that people may gossip and talk a lot, but that is normal in African setups. You can see we are inside the village and we are saying hi. That is the dad to the deceased, to the late, sorry. Those are other relatives, and after that, we got into the house, into the compound. I was shy to film because I was new here, and the moment I saw my aunt, I was very excited because, oh, why not? You can see the boy there is trying to chop firewood so that it can help with the cooking, and they have a lot of guests, so that means that there is a lot of work to be done. Here we have the church. And they are trying to rebuild the house that my uncle left. Immediately someone dies, a message is passed and everyone gets to scream. Once people scream, other people are gonna know that there is a funeral that is happening or someone has lost their loved one. So the next thing they are going to do is that they will mourn that day, and that will be it. People will go to rest and some will stay with you and lit a fire until the morning. People will keep coming to the homestead until the burial day. Relatives will be told that the person passed on and everyone else will get to know. The second day, probably people will still come in and the elders will sit down and discuss if the person was married or not. If this person was married and he had not paid the bride price, he had to pay the bride price before he gets to get married. So after that, after they have contributed the money and they have paid, the next thing that is now going to happen is the funeral. But they have to set a funeral date, and once they sit down to discuss on the date and everything, they will set a date. So before the person is buried, they'll have to contribute again some money. We call it mchango over here. So once they contribute the money will aid in the send off of the family members, the family member who has passed on. The member will be dressed in a good suit and nice coffin will be bought for him, and he will be transferred back to his home where he was born and is going to be laid to rest. In Kisii, they do a 2-day funeral, and in some communities like the the western region, they take up to 3 days after they bring the body from the morgue. So in Kisii, they will bring the body from the morgue, and this guy will have to be put in his sitting room before he or she is laid to rest. Then they will have to get the body out through a specific door depending on if it's a male or female. After that, the day before, a church will be done for him, or they will celebrate mass, and then the next day again they'll have speeches from friends, family, and everyone who knew the deceased, and then they will have mass, and then they will proceed to bury the guy. The burial day, last respects are given, and the most interesting thing is that they don't limit you from your beliefs, or they don't refuse to do anything that the family wants for the deceased, because they believe that they have to give the best send off to their family members. Once that is done, If they still believe in tradition, the women will shave their heads clean just to honor the deceased. Maybe the family members and the kids will have to shave their head. But in our family, we don't consider that. So after the burial is done, people will still come and console the person mourning, and sometimes the people will have to just be at the burial. They will contribute something called erongori. Erongori is porridge in English. Once they contribute the porridge or money, they will give the money to the family, and the money can aid, maybe take the kids to school and even help the kids in one way or another. Sometimes the money may not be enough, but the money is given to the family of the deceased. Anybody who had a debt, they will ask at the funeral place, like if you had a debt, or if the person who passed on hadn't paid you, you will come forward and say that this person had my money and they didn't pay me. So at the funeral, they will get to pay you using the money. But if not, the money will go back to the family and it will help the kids or the mother or whoever who has remained in the family. Thank you for watching up to this point. Until next time, bye bye.